one of the most vain people that I've ever seen online is this guy named Clavicular, okay? Now, you older folks, just tune me out. Just enjoy this commercial break real quick. If you don't know who I'm talking about, read the Bible or something, pray unto the Lord. I'm talking to the younger crowd, and the younger crowd knows exactly who I'm talking about, okay? Clavicular is the most vain person on the internet right now. And let me just say this. If you're a Christian following that guy, you're godless, you're vain, and you need to get right with God. You say, well, who's Clavicular? Well, that's not his real name. That's like his online name. And, you know, the young guys are looking at me like, oh, man, he's going to get on my idol. Yeah, because you're following vain people. He's responsible for the looks-maxing movement, okay? It's all about the moggers. And look, this guy's a complete idiot, okay? And if you don't like what I'm saying right now, then you know what? Get right with the Lord. Be a humble individual and stop following vain people like this. And by the way, he's a reprobate. That's a fact. He's a reprobate, okay? He's a depraved, wicked individual who's all about vanity. And you know what he's doing to you? He's making you vain too. All about looks maxing, mogging people. How about this? Practicing facial bone smashing. Because, you know, looks maxing, people say, well, you know, Pastor, what's wrong with that? You know, just looking the best that you could look, you know. Just max out on your looks, just trying to, you know, to improve yourself or whatever. And what's wrong with mogging someone every once in a while, you know? You know? Well, how about that? You know, okay, I'll give you that, okay? That's what you want to do? That's fine. You know, hey, if mogging requires for you to lose some weight, right? You got to lose 20 pounds, you look better? I'm all for it, you know, if that's what you want to do. But facial bone smashing? What is that? It's the practice that involves hitting one's bones with a hammer or one's fist in order to have them grow back stronger. Yeah. I'm talking about they grab a hammer and they're literally smashing their face. And I'm not joking. You can look this up, okay? Older folks, again, sorry for this commercial break. And you may think to yourself, like, is this even real? This is legitimately real, okay? Where they're literally smashing their bones in order to make them more dense so they could look all better or whatever. What kind of nonsense is that? This is what this guy's promoting, okay? Don't come to church with the bruised face because you're bone smashing or something like that. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be embarrassed of yourself for doing something like that. What's wrong with you? You're like, well, you know, okay, you know, yeah, I tried it, you know, what's wrong with, you know, what's wrong with that? You know, just, you know, hitting yourself. Well, no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth and cherisheth it. How about that, right? But, or how about this, you know, if that's not extreme enough for you, how about the fact that he uses crystal meth in order to stay lean? Oh, and that's who you're following? You're following some 19, 20-year-old who, you know, does steroids and crystal meth openly in order to stay lean. Oh, yeah, what a great role model for a fundamental Baptist to follow. For a child of God to use as an example just so he could be a mogger like him. You going to do crystal meth too? He instructs fans on how to ascend or to become more attractive and ostensibly gain social power and sexual prospects as a result. Yeah, what a great role model for you to follow. And to hard max, a looks maxing term for undergoing intense and painful physical alterations like plastic surgery. And one of the plastic surgeries that he's going to be doing, this guy Clavicular, I don't even understand it all, but he's going to get some like jaw surgery in order to fix it so it just looks more appealing or something like that, okay? I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's godless. It's super wicked. It's evil. But these are the vain people that you like to follow? Taking anabolic steroids, you're vain if you follow that garbage. You're like, well, you know, he's got some good things to offer. Hey, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of the sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. He shall be like the tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. The Bible says that his leaf shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Amen. Oh, you shouldn't yell like that. You're going to mess up your whatever. I don't care. I'm godly maxing right now is what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, oh, he's got some good stuff. He's an ungodly person. He's a sodomite. Bro's a reprobate. Look at Psalm 26. If you're visiting with us today, you came on a good night. Good night. Look at Psalm 26, verse 4. I have not sat with vain persons. And then he reiterates it, neither will I go with the dissemblers. What is a dissembler? A vain individual. It's like, I'm not going to associate with vain people. And you know what? You may not be physically associating with these vain people, but you are online, though. And, you know, God forbid that some dude in our church is following some Instagram thought, too, by the way. Yeah. But now it's just not even that anymore. Now dudes aren't even like, it's not even like the problem they have is that they're following thoughts. Now they're following dudes who are just looks maxing, and they're moggers, and they're bone smashing to make themselves look better or whatever it may be. It's nonsense. It's absolute vanity. And look, this guy Clavicular, he is super wicked. Super evil, super wicked, not godly by any stretch of the imagination. He's an absolute fornicator. There's videos out there of people asserting that he's a sodomite. He's absolutely vain. He has nothing godly or virtuous to tell anybody. He literally was interviewed, by this guy, and he's saying like, oh, they're like, what do you think about J.D. Vance? He's like, oh, he's subhuman. I don't even know what that means. It's just, and then he's like, who do you think is going to win? Oh, I think Gavin Newsom is going to win, not because of his policies or anything, just because he feels like he looks better. That's all it is. He's like, Gavin Newsom is going to win because he's just a mogger. But these are the people that you look up to. It's not basing anything off of like any conviction, any policies, any beliefs. It's just like, just because he's just handsome. Talk about empty and vain. The reason I'm even bringing Clavicular up is because all of a sudden he just came up. Like, I know he's been around for a while. Like, he ran some guy over with his Tesla or something. But it's and didn't really care about it, by the way. Because people like that are past feeling. But that's your hero, though, right? But all of a sudden he just pops up, and then he's just going viral, and his methods are going viral, and he's influencing thousands and thousands of young people to be as vain as he is. Don't envy sinners. Recognize that that's vain, and Clavicular is going to hell. He's not ascending. He's descending. Right? He's not ascending. He's descending. And I've heard him talk about God. He's blasphemous. He's just like, oh, the reward and return for being a Christian is just not worth it. It's just like, okay, you want to call that ascending, but you're about to descend into the lowest parts of the earth because you're not even saved.